Hello everyone. So in today's lecture we are going to do a numerical on successive quadratic estimation method. Okay. So we left off in the previous lecture with the discussion of the algorithm that is to be used for solving or optimizing a function, right? And we discussed the various steps that are involved, right? All right, so let us do a numerical. So we have a question that fx is equal to x square plus 54 by x, and we are given the value of x1 and delta, right? And we have to find out the point that will minimize the function. All right, so let's do the numerical. So we'll start with our first iteration. All right, we'll start with our iteration number 1. Okay, so we will start with step 1. And let's see what does the step 1 says. In this step 1 we have to assume a value x1 and the steps in which the iteration has to be done, that is delta, right? But in the question itself we are given the value of x1 and delta, so we need not to assume it. Okay, and then we have to compute the value of x2, which is equals to x1 plus delta. Okay, so let's see, let's continue. So our x1 is given with 1 and delta is 1, so we'll find out the value of x2. X2 is equals to, what was the formula? X1 plus delta. So this is x1 plus delta, so this is equals to 1 plus 1, which is equals to 2. So through this we have completed our step 1, right? Now the step 2 says, that we have to find out the function value of x1 and function value of x2, and if our fx1 is greater than fx2, we will find the value, the next point value, that is x3, through the formula x1 plus 2 delta, and then we will find fx3, right? But if this is not the case, so if our fx2 turns out to be greater than fx1, then we will find out the next point x3 using the formula x1 minus delta, right? So first of all, let us find out fx1 and fx2 and see what is the relation that is being followed. Okay, so we'll move on to step 2. Step 2, and for our step 2 we have to find f of x1. Okay, so f of x1 is 1 plus 54 by 1, which is equals to 55, right? And fx2 is equals to, our x2 is 2, right? So we will have 2 square plus 54 by 2, this is equals to 31. And we can see that our, in this case, fx1 is greater than fx2, and as we have seen, if our fx1 is greater than fx2, then we will find out the next point x3 using this relationship. All right, so let's find out. So our point x3 will be equals to x1 plus 2 delta. X1 was 1, delta was 1, so the value of point x3 will be 3. Let us find fx3. fx3, 3 square plus 54 by 3, so this will be 27. All right, okay, so we have find out the value of fx3. So we have completed our step number 2. Okay, then our step 3, in our step 3 we have to find out the minimum function value from the functions that we have found. So up till now we have find out fx1, we have find out fx2, and we have find out fx3, right? So we have to see which of these function value is giving the, has the minimum value, right? And the function value which will have the minimum value, corresponding point will be the x minimum. Okay, so the corresponding point of the function that has the minimum value will give the minimum point x minimum. All right, so let's do this step 3. Step 3, and in step 3 the f minimum we have to find, f minimum, which is equals to the minimum value from the function f1, f2 and f3. Alright, so the minimum of function f1 value, what was the function f1 value? It was 55. So if we have 55 comma 31 comma third was 27. Okay, so as we can see, the minimum value is 27, right? So the point that is giving the minimum is 3, right? So our f minimum is 27, so the point that is giving the minimum is 3. So we have completed our step number 3. Then let's move on to step number 4, and in step number 4 we have to find out another point, x bar. Alright, and x bar equal, the formula for finding out the x bar is x1 plus x2 by 2 minus a1 by 2a2. Right, and a1 and a2, in the previous lecture we have derived the formula for a1 and a2. That was for a1, the formula was this. Okay, a1 is equals to f2 minus f1 divided by x2 minus x1, right? While the formula for a2 is 1 upon x3 minus x2 in the bracket f3 minus f1 divided by x3 minus x1 minus a1. This is the formula for a2, right? So let's calculate next point, x bar. So we'll move to step 4, and in step 4 we have to find out x bar, which is equals to x1 plus x2 by 2 minus a1 by twice of a2, and the formula for a1 is f2 minus f1 divided by x2 minus x1. What is the function value of f2? f2 is 31. Okay, so it is 31. What is f1? 55, right? x2 is 2, so this is 2 minus x1, that is 1, so it's 1. Okay, so these are the values. So solving it, our value of a1 will be, minus 24. Okay, again I am hoping that you are also solving as you are doing the question. Okay, otherwise watching it plainly won't serve the purpose. Solve it as we are moving along. Okay, so next thing is we have to find out the value of a2, and the formula for a2 is 1 upon x3 minus x2, the bracket f3 minus f1 divided by x3 minus x1 minus a1, right? So let's put the value and find out the value of a2. So this is equals to 1 upon 3 minus 2. f3, what is the value of f3? f3 is 27 minus 55, x3 again 3, and x1, what is the value of x1? 1, minus of the value of a1 is minus 24. So let's put the value minus of 24. Okay, solving it, the value of a2 will come out to be 10. Okay, so we have find out the value of a1 and a2. So let's find out the value of x bar, right? This was our aim. So we'll find out the value of x bar. X bar is equals to, I'll directly put the values. Okay, 1 plus 2 divided by 2 minus a1 is minus 24. So you have to keep very attentive while placing these signs. Okay, so if you have put since it is minus 24, and if you by mistake or in hurry put 24, then whole of your iteration will be wrong, and the upcoming iterations will also be wrong, and because of which the point that you have got will be wrong, right? So you have to be very careful of these signs and symbols. Okay, the formulas and the sign. You have to be very careful about this. Alright. So your x bar will be 2.7. Alright. So this was your step 4. So we have found out the value of x bar, right? Now in step 5 we have to see that is our f minimum minus fx bar and x minimum minus x bar are smaller value or not. Okay, so if these are small, right, if the values are small enough, then we can terminate the iterations and we have to choose the best of the 4 points that we have found. That is the out of the 4 points, the value that is giving the minimum function value, we will take that point, right? And if the values are not small enough, we will move to step 6. All right. So let's find out if the values are small enough or not. Okay. So, but for that we have to first of all find out the value of fx bar, right? So let's do it. So we'll find out the value of fx bar. So fx bar equals to 2.7 square plus 54 divided by 2.7. This value comes out to be 27.290. 27.290. Okay. So what we'll do is now we'll move on to step number 5. We'll move to this was step 5s. Step 5. Okay, so we'll move to step 5, and in step 5 we have f minimum 27, right? F minimum 27, and the x minimum for this was 3. Okay, and f of x bar is 27.290 and x bar is 2.7. All right, so let's find out f minimum minus f of x bar, which is equals to 27 minus 27.290. So this gives 0.290. Then we have to find x minimum minus x bar, which is equals to 3 minus 2.7, which is equals to 0.3. All right. So here we can see that the values are not small enough, right? The reason is that our attempt is to find out the values that after decimal place we have at least 1 0 or 2 zeros, right? Then we have a numerical digit. So this is our like the attempt, right? If so, that is what we consider as a smaller value. All right. So let's see. If we can get in the next iteration. So first of all we will see that we will write that the values are not small enough. The values are not small enough, and since our values are not small enough, so we'll move to step 6, right? And step 6 says that we have to save the best point and two bracketing points, right? That is best point is the point that is giving the minimum function value, right? We have basically find out 4 points, right? The 4 points that we have find out is x1, this is point number 1, x2 point number 2, x3 point number 3, and x bar, right? So this is 4. So basically we have find out 4 points. So we'll try to take up the minimum value, right, and two bracketing value, that is 2 of its side, right, if it's possible. Otherwise, if this is not possible, then we will save the 3 best points, and the relation between these 3 points should be that x1 should be smallest. After this we have x2, which is in between x1 and x3, and x3 is the highest of the 3, right? So this is the relation that has to be followed if we are choosing the 3 best point. All right. So let's see our step 6. Our step 6. Okay. So since our 3 points, right, the 3 points that was, so the minimum value was obtained at point number 3. So our best point is 3, right? Because if you see at 3 we are getting the minimum value, right? And 3 is our extreme point, right? 3 is our extreme point. So let me just to make it clear to you. So if this is our, let's say, x is, so we have what are the points? We have point x1 equal to 1, right? Our x2 point was 2, right? So we had x2 equals to 2. Then the third point that we had found was 3. X3 is 3, right? So x3 is 3, and the x bar point is 2.7, right? So it will lie here, 2.7, and your f3 is giving minimum value, is giving minimum value, right? Your f3 is 27, while your f of 2.7 is giving 27.290, right? Your f of 2.7 is giving 27.290, which is of course higher than the 27, right? So your f3 is the best point, okay? But this is your extreme point. This is your extreme point, right? So we will choose 3 best point. Since this is an extreme point, so we will choose best 3 points. We will choose best 3 points, right? That is, after 3 we have 2.7, and after 2.7 we have 2, because f of 1 was giving the highest value, so we have to ignore it, right? So the 3 best point, that is our x1 will be 2, our x2 will be 2.7, and x3 will be 3. Okay, are you getting the point? So these are our 3 points. So suppose, just to make it clear, let us assume that suppose our 2.7 was giving the minimum value. Suppose our 2.7 was giving the minimum function value. So the points that we would have considered was 2.7, 2 and 3, right? So this would have been our 3 best point, okay? But this is not the scenario. This is not the scenario. So we have, and since it is our extreme point, so we have to see the best points, right? So the best point that we have selected are 2, 2.7 and 3, right? And suppose, like in this present condition, our f 2.7 is 27.290. This is 27. f2, the value of f2 was coming out to be 31, right? This was 31 and this was 55, right? Suppose, again we are supposing, let's say your f1 came out to be, let's say 20, okay, or let's say 29. All right, so your f1 suppose came out to be 29. Now in this scenario, our 3 best point would have been, of course, since our minimum value is at function at point number 3, so this is our best point. After this we have at point 2.7 we have, and then we have at 29, right? Then we have at point number 1 we have the minimum function value, right? 29 is lesser than 31. Then in that scenario, our point would have been x1 equal to 1, x2 equal to 2.7, x3 equal to 3, right? So this is how you choose the best points. Okay, this is the meaning of choosing the best point. Still, if you have any doubt, you can always ask in the comment section. Okay. So the three best points that we have chosen are these, right? And we will move back to step number 3. Okay. So this has through this we have completed our first iteration. Now let's do iteration number 2. Okay. So first of all, we will write uh, move to step 3. Move to step 3. Okay. So let's start with the iteration number 2. Iteration number 2. Right. Iteration number 2. So we'll move to step number 3. Okay, let's see step number 3. Step number 3 is we have to find out the minimum value and x minimum point. Okay, so f minimum, right? So the value of 2 was 31, 2.7 was 27.290, and 3 was 27, right? So our f minimum, our f minimum is 27.0, or just write 27, right? And the point that is giving it will be x minimum, that is 3, right? That is 3. Okay, so this is step number 3. Step number 4, we have to find out the value of x bar. The value of x bar equal to x2 divided by 2 minus a1 by twice of a2, right? And the value of a1, the formula was f2 minus f1 divided by x2 minus x1. So this will give 27.290 minus what was the value of f1. Now here the f1 value was 31, the f2 value was 27.2, and 3 was 27, right? So our f1 is 31. x2 point x2 is 2.7, x1 is 2. Solve it to find out the value of a1, that is equal to minus 5.3. Okay, minus 5.3. Then we'll find a2. The formula for a2 is 1 upon x3 minus x2, f3 minus f1, x3 minus x1 minus a1, right? This is the formula for a2. Let's put the value. What is x3? x3 is 3, x2 is 2.7. okay, f3 is 27 minus f1 31 divided by 3 minus 2 minus a1 is minus 5.3. Again, you have to be very careful while putting up the sign. Okay, so this a2 will be equal to 4.33. so your x bar, I'll just directly put the values. 2 plus 2.7 by 2 minus 5.3, 2 into 4.33. Solve it to find out the value of x bar. X bar is 2.962. And in the next step we have to find out the fx bar. So let's find out in this step only. Fx bar 2.962 square plus 54 by 2.962. This will give the value of fx bar to be 27.004. So we have completed our step 4, right? We have completed our step 4. Now step 5 says that we have to see if our f minimum minus fx bar and x minimum minus x bar is small enough value. If these are small enough value, then we will see the optimum point and terminate the iteration. If this is not the case, then we will go to step 6. Alright, so let's do our step 5. Step 5. F minimum is 27, right, and x minimum is 3, right. This is, and our f of x bar is 27.004 and x bar is 2.962, right. F minimum minus f x bar will give 27 minus 27.004, right. Here we have mod, right, and any value irrespective of the sign after mod we have positive, right, so this will be 0.004, and then we have x minimum minus x bar. Our x minimum is 3, x bar 2.962, so this comes out to be 0.038. Okay, now here we can observe that the value after decimal we have a 0 value, right. So now we can say that the obtained value are small enough, right. So we can say the obtained values are small enough and we can terminate the iteration. Right, and then we have to choose the best point, right. We have to choose the best point. So if you observe that we have following points. What are the points that we have now? Our x1 is 2, x2 is 2.7, x3 is 3, right. Let me just write it down for better understanding. So the points that we have, our x1 is 2, right, x2 is 2.7, x3 is 3, and our x bar that we have calculated here is 2.962. And which of the following points is giving the minimum functional value? Which of the following point is giving the minimum function value? The function point x3, right. The function point x3 is giving the minimum point, right. So your, since fx3 is giving the minimum value, so what we'll do, we'll say our point x3 is the point that will minimize the function. Okay, so our point x3 equal to 3 will minimize the function. Okay, so this is how your successive quadratic estimation method is done. Okay, if you want, you can move on to iteration number 3, right. Try and see what happens when you do iteration number 3. Okay, if you do iteration number 3, you will find that still your point number 3 is giving the minimum value. All right, try and do it yourself, and you will see that your point x equal to 3 is still giving the minimum value, and your f minimum minus f of x bar and your what do you have that x minimum minus x bar, right? Your x minimum minus x bar, these value are compared to the value that we have obtained in these steps, these values are higher than these. Okay, try and solve it, right? And see if you are getting the values to be higher than what we got in the iteration number 2, and see still at iteration number 3 are you getting x3 equal to minimum, right? So this is you can say is another form of check, right? You can proceed with this step and see that is your function x3 is still giving you the minimum value, right? Or any point that you are saying that it will minimize the function is still giving the minimum value. Try and do it, right? If you have any doubt in any of the steps that we have done, you can always ask in the comment section, and try and do it at question number 3 and see that if your x3, the function value at x3 is still the minimum value or not. See this, and also observe what is the value of f minimum minus fx bar and x minimum minus x bar. See this and compare to the values that we have obtained in the iteration number 2, are the smaller or greater, right? So this will help you for to clear the concept, right? Okay, so this was how your successive quadratic estimation method is done. All right, again, if you have any doubt in any of the steps that we have done, you can always ask. Okay, thank you.